Hi everyone, welcome back. Thanks for joining us today. We've got a brand new story to share with you, so let's get started. I've been with S for 5 years and married for 2 years. In those 7 years, everything was great. When we first met, it was love at first sight. I've loved her more and more over the years. My friends even made fun of me for my changed character. Before I met her, I was usually a cold, thoughtless person. My character was shaped by my time in the army and my parents. I'd never been so vulnerable with anyone, not even her. So in those 7 years, everything was perfect. I had a well-paid job, and I was in love with the woman of my dreams. I was smart enough to make a trust, where I put all my money and properties, and gave them to my best friend and my sister, who were to be the executors. My best friend was divorced, and he had to split his money and properties with his ex. My wife never contributed to paying a single cent. So I did this to protect myself from a possible, but at the time impossible divorce, and for emergencies, because I wasn't financially stable at the time. We agreed to do a prenup before the marriage. The only condition was that if one of us cheated, we wouldn't get any alimony. It's legal in my country. When she proposed, I was a bit shocked because I never thought she'd cheat. It came as a surprise, but I accepted it. The first year of marriage was great. We were healthy thanks to my job, which paid well. We were renting a big, nice house. We were enjoying our lives, doing amazing things, and going to amazing places on vacation. We also went out to meet new people and friends. Unfortunately, the second year wasn't so good. I started working with my company to sign a big client. I admit that I was using all my energies for my work. I told her this, but she was okay with it because my work was our first and only source of income. She didn't have any intention of working, but she was just a stay-at-home wife. I was working from home, and I knew my work was getting difficult and I was always tired after it. I tried my best to make her happy and satisfied, unless it was a stressful period about 6 months in. Many times I put aside my personal life to prioritize her over myself, just to make sure she wasn't sad or without attention. My routine was getting up very early in the morning, going to the gym, making breakfast for her, going to work, coming home and preparing her dinner, and then spending time with her instead of relaxing. I did this for 6 months. After the client finally signed with us, I booked a 2-week vacation in her favorite place, Paris. It went very well because I thought that we became stronger and more in love with each other. But when we came back home, I noticed that she was changing. She became distant and cold and always looked at the phone instead of talking to me like before. I took a 2-month vacation in Paris to unwind and de-stress. It was a great trip, and I thought we were stronger and more in love than ever. But when we got back, I noticed she was acting differently. She was distant, cold, and always looking at her phone instead of talking to me like she used to. I tried to talk to her about it, but she gave me excuses. She said it was personal problems and stress, so I let it slide. This went on for 6 months. One day I was having a very important meeting where the big boss was about to announce the rise. So I was nervous, because finally, my hard work and dedication were about to pay off with a big rise. In fact, I had a 30% rise in my salary because of the signing with the big client. After the meeting, I told my colleague I was going to take a couple of days off to celebrate the news. So I told my colleagues I was going to be away for a few days. I went home early to tell my wife the good news, but when I parked my car, I heard loud voices coming from my house. I thought I'd heard wrong because my wife would be shopping with her friend until I got home. As I got closer to the door, I heard her voice, so I took a moment to take out my phone and record the scene. When I entered, the end of the world happened. I caught her having sex with a random guy, and when I called her name, the shock on her face was just absolutely priceless. After I entered and recorded for about a minute, a guy sneaked out of our house partially naked and with clothes in his hands, leaving my wife covered with. I was so shocked, I wanted to destroy everything. I went to my room to pack my stuff. My wife started accusing me of cheating, saying that all this wasn't real and that I was just dreaming. I now think what she was saying was absurd and made no sense. I took about 30 minutes to pack my stuff and drive away. I just had this sense of relief and that all my anger and tension were getting away. I stayed in a hotel for a few days, while my phone was flooded with calls and texts from her. I ignored everything and changed the number. After a few more days, I contacted a lawyer and told him all about the situation. He said, "You are a smart ass. I can guarantee that despite having half of your money, she wouldn't." I didn't hear anything else from her. After a few months of no contact, I sent her the divorce papers. I heard that she found a job to barely maintain the house. When she got my divorce papers, she went to a meeting with her lawyer and mine. She had a big smile on her face and said, "I did the right thing by cheating on you. I will have all your money and I won't work for the rest of my life." My lawyer and I smiled at each other, and he put the prenup agreement on the table. She immediately understood her mistake. She would only have half of my money and nothing else. She started to cry and beg me to forgive her, saying that it was just a little mistake and that she loved me. This scene went on for 20 minutes, and finally she signed the papers. She realized that the money she would have was enough to pay 5 months of rent on our house. She was up while I was leaving the place and ran after me repeating all the same stuff. It was a mistake. She loves me. I must forgive her. These days I've met a new girl and we've been dating for a few months. I'm happy. I have a job that pays well and my life is happy again. From what I heard, she stayed at our old house for a few months until she ran out of money, and now she's moving to a small apartment near her new job. She tried to contact me again, but I didn't respond because I wasn't interested. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories like this. See you next time.